gentlemen. BZA meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call for tonight. Nate Louts.
Here.
Vicky Goszowski.
Present.
Brian Cager.
Present.
Pete Saunders present. Did anybody read through the minutes from last meeting? And do
Every word of it.
And do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. President.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. So, we just have the one thing to look at today. A variance to reduce the setback on Factory Street. So, do we have an applicant? I see. Just give us a short overview.
Certainly. Good evening. My name is Tony Oss. I represent Larson Danielson Construction and Facet Architecture. We're here on behalf of New York Blower this evening. New York Blower, so the project before you this evening is an expansion to the existing Plant 3, which is located on Factory Street. The existing plant was built originally in 1977 with an expansion in 1996. This most current expansion will be a two-story office building with approximately 14,000 square feet of floor area. The building will accommodate the consolidation of several current employees of New York Blower into a central corporate office building. The new building has been designed with several modern corporate office features such as a dramatic lobby, modern finishes, and large windows. In addition to the new building, renovations are planned for the existing office building to add windows and shades that will coordinate with the new addition on Factory Street. This will give the entire facade a cohesive feel. The variance being requested this evening is to allow for this new addition, this new building, to align with the previous construction along Factory Street. Both the 77 and 96 additions were built, where you see them now. The new building will be aligning essentially with that front facade, and then improvements, like I said, will be made along the existing facade as well as the new addition. In addition to the expansion, the office expansion, New York Blower is also planning on improving the area where Plant 2 was torn down a few years ago. And you can see that sort of a park area there on the corner of Boston and Factory Streets. And that'll be a part of this project as well.
Okay, any questions?
Did you say, Tony, that they are tearing down some of the current facility to make room for the growth, or?
So there'll be a small little piece on that northwest corner that we're gonna carve off and kind of, there's a existing overhead door that comes off of Factory Street. And you can probably see one of those photos. Yeah, the new addition's essentially gonna cover that up, so that door won't. Yeah, that door won't, so that door right there won't be there anymore. The new addition will actually sort of come out partway there. That becomes sort of the new entry point off of Factory Street. That'll actually be like a doorway there where people can enter off of Factory Street.
Right.
And as you see, there's, I don't know if we provided renderings or anything, but there's some pretty dramatic glass that's gonna be facing Factory Street.
It looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
And it's pretty much gonna be even along with the current building.
Yeah, that's the
there.
intent.
So, yeah.
Right, that's the intent. And the materials are gonna blend together. There's a little bit of variance in some of the materials that are gonna be going, right there. You can see that rendering that was in the description. The materials will match as best we can with the character of the existing office on facade on the front of the factory.
Essentially, it's just approving the variance that was already approved when the building was built, or?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a variance that was
Whatever it
approved,
was, yeah.
but at that point, whatever the zoning requirements were, whatever was set forth, we're basically just asking to continue with the way the building is constructed right now.
I think it's an exciting project, especially that park feature. The building will not only beautify an area that is a hard area to beautify, but also the greenery that they're adding, I think will be great.
Thank you.
We did send all the notices out, I guess, and we had documentation that we uploaded onto the portal as far as all the certified letters that went out. I do have green cards. Craig, I don't know if you want those.
Yeah, Mark will take those.
Mark, if you want those. Not all of them have been returned at this point, but we did track all the letters.
So at this point, we open it to any public comment. Mayor, do you want to say anything? I don't think there is anybody, so we'll close that part of the meeting. Staff presentation?
Okay. The applicant is, staff report for variance 24-02. The applicant is Anthony Oss, Director of Pre-Construction Services, Larson Danielson Construction Company, as agent for New York Blower Company. Property owner is Timothy Daniels, Controller and Treasurer, the New York Blower Company. The premises affected, the address is 171 Factory Street and 621 Boston Street. Total acreage is 5.48 acres. It is not located in a flood zone. The zoning of the subject property is M2. The use of the subject property is manufacturing, office, and parking lots. The zoning of the adjacent properties are as follows. To the north is M2, to the south is B2, to the east is M2, and to the west is M2. The land use of adjacent properties are as follows. To the north, that didn't get filled out. To the north is manufacturing. To the south is manufacturing, to the east is manufacturing and residential, and to the west is a combination of manufacturing and residential. The petitioner proposes to construct a 2-story office building to the existing Plant 3 at New York Blower. That will be no less than 20 feet from the front yard property line along Factory Street. Per the site aerial image, the parcel is 5.48 acres and is currently zoned M2 Heavy Industrial District. Historically, the property has been used as a manufacturing business and office space. The petitioner proposes to reduce the minimum front yard building setback from 40 feet to 20 feet to allow for the construction of a 2-story office building addition. The description of the proposed variance of development standards. The petitioner is requesting a variance of development standards to reduce the minimum front yard building setback from 40 feet to 20 feet to allow construction of the proposed 2-story office building addition to the existing Plant 3 building. The approval of the requested variance of development standards would allow for the reduction of the minimum front yard building setback from 40 to 20 feet. Statement of compliance, section 9.04 shall be met for the proposed 2-story office building addition. Site review findings. Site review was held on April 17th, 2024 to discuss the proposed development, and it was mentioned that the 2-story office building addition will need a variance of development standards to reduce the minimum front yard building setback. The notes from the site review meeting are attached for your review on the requested variance. Decision criteria. 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The approval of the requested variance of development standards to allow for the proposed reduction in the minimum front yard setback to construct the 2-story office building addition to an existing manufacturing building will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The proposed reduction in the minimum front yard setback along Factory Street will not negatively impact surrounding properties in the M2 Heavy Industrial District or B2 General Commercial District. 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner with a proposed reduction in the minimum front yard building setback. Petitioner's request to allow for the proposed reduction in the minimum front yard building setback is compatible with the existing building setbacks along Factory Street for buildings already permitted in the general vicinity. 3, the strict application to the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance with the requirement for a minimum 40-foot front yard setback would result in practical difficulties in the use of the property for manufacturing and office space. The existing manufacturing and office buildings along Factory Street are already within the minimum required 40-foot front yard building setback. Staff recommendations. Staff finds the requested variance of development standards petition is in compliance with the 2017 City of LaPorte revised joint zoning ordinance and does conform to the goals and policies of the countywide land development plan. The petitioner's request to allow for the proposed reduction of the minimum front yard building setback is compatible with the existing building setbacks along Factory Street for buildings already permitted in the general vicinity. Staff recommends approval of the petitioner's request to allow for the reduction of the minimum front yard building setback from 40 feet to 20 feet along the Factory Street property frontage, submitted to the Board of Zoning Appeals May 9th, 2024.
Thank you, Craig. Any discussion, any questions?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Nice and easy. Passed. So, finishing off, any old business not covered? Any new business? Any other business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.